Hello, friends. How are you today? Today we were just having our coffee like we do every morning, and mm, not a bad mix this morning. But we were talking, my wife and I, we have a chat every morning, and we were talking about life as being like a river. And I've talked about that on this channel before, that it's like we're flowing down this river together. And we're going to experience different things down the river. It's an interesting journey, but the thing is, we are all together on it. The whole world. There's different rafts. We were on the Jehovah's Witness raft. I was for a lot of years, going down this river, and I'd look over, and there'd be the Mormon raft, and there'd be the Catholic raft. Different rafts, different boats. But I was on the Jehovah's Witness boat, raft or ship, and we're all going down this river together. And it made me think of this scripture in Revelation 21 and verse 1, where John had that vision. He was, this is actually a very interesting chapter. If you get the chance, read the whole thing. Because in this chapter, it says, if you remove anything from this book, shame on you. It's a big strict warning. It's right at the end. But anyways, we're going to focus on the river, the right at the beginning of it. And the angel showed me, John, that was the Apostle John, the river of the water of life. And I think when I was doing my research on this, John was writing this book of Revelation. He may have been imprisoned. He had a writer with him. And that's where he wrote all this. He had this vision. And it says here that he says, the angel showed me the river of the water of life, bright as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb, through the middle of the street of the city. Also on either side of the river, the tree of life with its 12 kinds of fruit, yielding its fruit each month. And the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations. No longer will there be anything accursed, but the throne of God and the Lamb will be in it, and its servants will worship him. They will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads, and the night will be no more. They will need no light of the lamp or sun, for the Lord God will be their light, and they will reign forever and ever. Now, this means a little bit more to me now. Through the Christmas season, I've been doing a lot of research on the Magi. And as you notice, there's a lot of information on the channel on that. But part of the research showed that the Magi, the backstory is that they had this bright light. And they said it had a human form. It could come out as a human form and back into a bright light. And this light led them to Bethlehem. And it flattened the mountains. It replenished their food pouches. This bright light was a protection. And they said this light was like Jesus is in three places. Jesus is actually born. Jesus is in this light, this star, and this star would appear, and only certain people could see it too. So I thought this was interesting. It kind of makes more sense when I read this part of Revelation. They will need no light of lamp or sun, for the Lord God will be their light, and they will reign forever and ever. So, we could take that a number of ways. The Bible could be our light. That's how the Lord shines to us, is through this book they call the Bible. So we can glean that from this information. We could take this literal, like that light that led the Magi. It was actually a literal light. What about the light that led the Israelites across through the wilderness, across the Red Sea, through dry seabed? This light had power. And so what I'm gleaning is that this light is actually Jesus, and this Spirit is everywhere. That's what I gleaned this Christmas from reading this Magi stories. It's quite interesting. But anyways, I've been reading here in Revelation 22 and 1, and the angel showed me the river of the water of life, showed John. And I have it highlighted here, the trees of life, with its 12 kinds of fruit, yielding fruit each month. So we think of that. There's not one tree that you're going to, that's the true tree. You can get fruit from 12 different trees. It's like religions. There's all these different religions. You could probably take the first 12, and that sums it all up pretty much. Throw aside a few of the cults because they don't they don't count, right? But the 12 religions, 12 fruits, you can learn about God. They lead you to God through different fruits. And then it says the leaves of the trees were for the healings of the nations. So that's the thing. These trees that we're getting our fruit off of, it's to heal. It's not to judge. You see, judging isn't our thing. That's not our thing. We're just healing. It's about healing. And number 3 says, no longer will anything be accursed. Well, that'd be nice. And it says the throne of God and the Lamb will be in it. And the servants will worship him. They will see his face and his name. So I thought that was kind of a cool summary. It kind of brought me back to thinking of that river. And I think of that river too. A lot of people have made music out of songs out of this thought. The river, life is like a river. There's different songs. So I'm not gonna put a song on, but I'm gonna get a visual going here. And just as we're talking, we're looking at a river. And we think of the river that we're on. This river of life. We're all on this big river together. So when I look out and I see some of the rivers out there, there's they all start somewhere. They start from a waterfall, then they eventually were into a river. So that's where we're going now. And for a lot of us, our river can be calm. It's what we make of our river. It's what kind of trip we want. But we're all on this river together. We're all flowing together. And when I look around, I see different rafts. I see different things happening. And up ahead, there's rapids. We hear the rapids. For some of us, we jumped off the big rafts. We jumped off the big boats. And perhaps we were just solo. We're doing this solo. We're not going to go flow with any of these big religions, right? But you picture for a moment, we're on this river together. Up ahead, there's a bend. None of us have been there. We're all flowing together on this river in time, on this journey. And what do we see? Well, we see everything around us today. What do I see? I look over, I see different rafts. In spirituality, we have different rafts, different boats, different ways of floating down this river. When I started this journey, I was told that there's only one kind of an ark, one kind of a big boat that God's Spirit works through, and that was the Jehovah's Witness boat. So I hopped onto their cruise ship, and it's a big cruise ship. It's a nice ride. I don't know about any of you out there, but I actually took a couple cruises in my life, and I wouldn't go again. I got really sick on one. I got the Norwalk flu. They had me on an IV to keep me alive, to get me out of the ship. It was bad. I would never go on a cruise ship again. It's confined. And that's what happens. If you get a virus on these ships, everyone gets it. And you're all infected. The time to get off these cruise ships is when the sailing's calm, when it's nice. And you dock somewhere, you get off and don't get back on. They make these cruise ships all look good. And they have all these pamphlets made and all these pictures made. But it's not always what it's made out to be. Once you get on there, it looks good. It feels good. The air smells good. You walk on the deck. The food tastes good. There's lots of food. And swimming pools, everything you could imagine is on that cruise ship. And you get out to sea. But the thing is, when you're on that cruise ship, the rules change. When you're confined to that cruise ship, the rules are the rules that the captain makes. He sets his own rules. He can marry you, he can disfellowship you, he can put you in jail. They have their own police force is that captain of that ship. Because when you're on the seas, you're not bound by any of the countries. So it can be a dangerous place to be if you're on a cruise ship like that. But we're all on a cruise, we're all on a ship of some sort. We're all sailing down this river together. And there's many ships out there. You look over, there's the Mormon. Hey, there's the Mormon cruise ship. They got a big one. Wow. They got 2 swimming pools on their cruise ship. Oh, there's the Catholic. There's the Vatican one. Wow, is that ever luxurious? You know, there's lots of different cruise ships. And what happens is they dock and different ones, you know, a Jehovah's Witness gets off and he wants to get on the Catholic one. So he becomes an apostate of his cruise ship. And they announce it, he's an apostate. They announce it on the cruise ship, the JW one. And then you get a Catholic priest coming off his cruise ship, entering the Jehovah's Witness, and they announce it, and they print that in magazines, put it in their brochure, and they say, we got a Catholic priest off that cruise ship on ours. And they make a big deal about it, but it's really just they're switching people, members, switch over. It happens every day, but we're still on this big river, flowing together, all these different cruise ships that everyone's flowing on. And there comes a time that some of us realize, we get sick. We realize that there's a sickness that floats within these cruise ships. There's different sicknesses. And perhaps we decide we're going to jump off. And maybe there's a log or something we grab onto or something, but we jump off. Maybe we only have a life preserver, or maybe we're just paddling and we're going down and coming up and going down. It's hard to say, but we're on this river, and we're on a cruise ship of some sort, and when you think about it. And for many of us, we spend our whole life on a cruise ship. We spend our whole life being a Jehovah's Witness, a Catholic, a Mormon. We're all flowing down this river together. Where are we going? Is it always going to be this calm on that cruise ship? This is the picture that they paint. The owners of these cruise ships, they paint this kind of a picture. They paint that it's calm weather, it's nice, it's beautiful. This is the ship you want to be on. But they don't really tell you a lot about what it could be like or what it actually is like. Every cruise ship experiences stormy weather. And I don't know about you, if you've taken a cruise, perhaps you've experienced this in real life. But it's ugly. And, the wind, everything that's happening on that sea, it's crazy. And that's what's going on. This is what's going on with religion today. These ships are being tossed and turned. The CSA cover-ups are coming out, and it's really taking a toll on these big cruise ships, these big religions. People are leaving. People are jumping off in the stormy waters. That's the worst place to jump off, is in the stormy water like this when you're on a cruise ship. And then you get stuck on this thing for life, kind of a thing. So, but you could have just imagined, you're in your little cubby and you're looking out, and that's what you see, is these stormy. You see, the cruise ship liners, they don't tell you this. I don't know if they don't know it, but we're all in this sea together. It looked good a few years ago, but I'll tell you what, today, it's not good. Now, I wanted to get you guys off that cruise ship, and this is some Canadian footage up here in Canada. This is a river in Canada, and this is your own cruise ship. This is your own canoe. You can control it. You can take some back streams, back rivers that are slower, and you can take your time on your life's journey. You don't have to be on the cruise ship. You'll still get to we're all flowing in the same direction in time. We're all on this journey together, but we can choose our ship. And on your own ship, you're not going to get the viruses that are floating around. You know what? The food's not going to be served to you. You're going to have to cook your own food. There's a little bit more work. You're your own captain. And you are going to run into rapids in life, and then you have to learn how to deal with those rapids. The beauty is that you're in charge. You can control it. You're not relying on a cruise ship. And these cruise ships, they're not the safest place to be. I'll tell you that for sure. But you get on your own little boat. You can control it. You can enjoy it. We have a lot of bridges here in Canada, little bridges like this, a little train trestle. And so you can, you just go under the bridge. You just stop. You can go fishing. Good spots to go fishing sometimes. And this little bridge is northern Alberta, so you can really enjoy your journey. Now there always is rough waters in every journey, but the nice thing with running your own vessel, you can work it around the obstacles, the rocks. You can decide. We're still on that same journey together, but could you imagine a cruise ship trying to get through this? Well, they wouldn't. They'd have to take a different route, a bigger river where there's bigger storms. These rivers, some of these rivers, you can't even see the other side. They look like big lakes, but they're rivers. And so these cruise ships travel out, and but there's rough waters. But when you take the smaller river, you're going in the same direction. You can maneuver the rocks. And of course, with a kayak, you can actually go upside down and come back up. They can be a lot of fun, but you really got to know what you're doing. So, you know, there's all kinds of different vessels. Not everyone wants to be a captain of their own ship. That's not for everyone. So they hop onto another bigger ship, and that's where they're going to get their spiritual food from. So there's all kinds of journeys or all kinds of ships, all kinds of rafts. You can even be on a log. It can be cold and wet. But pretty soon you can staple a couple of logs together and you can build your own raft. And I think that's what we see happening within the xJW community. We see the community is building a raft, a life preserver, a safe place for people to land when they jump off those ships. And it's an interesting journey. We're traveling it together. There's going to be obstacles. We don't know quite what's around the corner, but we do have enough warning in the scriptures that there are going to be rapids. It is going to be rocky. So the smaller the vessel, the easier it is to get through these rapids, or we have to chance the big storms on the big lakes, the big rivers with the big boys. And they have storms, and they have viruses that go through these ships, viruses that go through these religions. Most of these religions, or some of them, are built upon what I call a virus or a trance. And they get everyone under the spell of the ship, and then they can control the narrative on that ship. But we're still all on the same journey. So folks, I hope you enjoyed the discussion today. And watch this guy take this rock. You see, it's not that bad. You know, the water actually moves around the rock. If you follow the flow of the river, it's actually quite enjoyable. You know, you don't have to hit the rocks. You almost have to steer into the rocks. If you're following the river's not, it hits up, but you're in the middle and it flows around these rocks. But you can get lodged, so it can be tricky rafting. Yeah. They do a lot of that up here in Canada. I got stuck on a river once. We were going down a river, and yeah, it wasn't nice. It was an overnight thing where we're cold, and we almost got hypothermia. Probably did. So it's all quite it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. So it's nothing to play around with, but you know, the metaphor, the illustration, we are all on this river together. And you know what? If we're on a little raft or we're on a boat, it's better if it's the love boat, you know. But not everything is that. It's not all summed up like that. Even the love boat has to face rough waters, and it's how the people pull together and deal with those rough waters in life. So thanks again, friends, and keep living your day with love. Bye for now.